at Hangsters in Daytona Beach, Florida, and today we're going to present to you a Belvedere 2 1966 car. Kind of a really unique car, 2-year only production run for this body style. As you can see, the car is obviously red. It has nice gaps on the hood defender. Paint on the car is definitely above a driver quality paint job. You know, very, very nice condition paint-wise. There's no dents or anything out of line evident whatsoever. The grill area is just the original style grill with nice crystal clear parking lights in it and headlights. The chrome is absolutely beautiful. You can see there's no scuffs or marks or anything on the front bumper. Alignment is just as nice as you'd ever hope to find. Everything is very linear on the car. Has hood pins on it, which were an option, but not in 1966. It also has a max wedge style hood scoop on it, which would not have come on this car, but it adds a lot of pop to it and a lot of character. Going down the side of the vehicle, it does have a set of 15-inch rally style wheels with trim rings and center caps on it. Belvedere 2 designation. You can see again the gaps on the car are just as nice as you'd ever hope to find. The hood to the cowl area to the door, everything is just nice and flat and linear. Tinted glass on the windshield and apparently on the side windows also. Trim around the front of the windshield is as nice as you'd ever hope to find. There's no imperfections or anything on the roof that are evident. Drip rail, just as nice and straight. No dents or any marks on it from being installed. Glass lines just as nice as you'd ever hoped for it to. Again, tinted glass on the side windows. The correct style mirror for 1966. Interior is just nice and fresh and clean as you'd hope to find. Original style interior seating and door panels for it, and a dash pad. Everything in the interior appears to be as it would have been in 1966, showing a lot of originality to this car. Also, if you notice on the center console area there, 4-speed shifter. Very, very unique car. Doors closed just like they should. Nice lineup of the doors to the quarter panels. Everything just as nice. This is usually deteriorated, but there is a little tiny bit of patina on that, but not a lot. Certainly nothing that would dictate replacement of it. The hatch shelf, rack tray, whatever you want to call it, is original yet. Has a little bit of sun fade to it, but certainly, again, nothing that you would ever replace it with. Gas filler door. Quarter panels, doors, front fender, everything lines up just as you'd hope to have a vehicle line up. The wheels and tires actually give this thing kind of a retro look to it. A set of white letter tires, obviously, BF Goodrich, and the wheels painted the color of the car with the trim rings. It's a nice setup. It's a real good looking setup for this car. Again, you can see the trunk alignment is just as nice and sweet as you could be, and the gaps are very nice and linear. Chrome on the back bumper, the same as it was on the front, and alignment the same way. Everything just as nice and fresh and clean as you'd hope to find. I'm going to open the trunk here for you, and oops. Come on. Oops, wrong key. That'll do it. Original equipment style spare tire and the jack still on the car. And if you notice, the fender panels, quarter panels, still have a lot of the sound deadener in them, which was originally installed by Chrysler. Nice trunk area. The mat covers everything that is still original from what we can tell on the car. Nothing's been replaced. Nothing's been deteriorated through age. Again, the original style jack instructions on it. Everything lines up as it should in the back. Going around the passenger side of the car, same thing, real nice alignment on all the body panels. Trim around the back window, the drip rail. Again, window fitment, just as clean and fresh as you'd hope to find. Look at the gaps on this door, front and back, just as nice as you'd ever hope to find. Again, the interior the same way. Nice originality to it. Of course, it is a replacement seat cover, but it is the original style seat cover front and back that would have been standard equipment on this car. Seat belts in the front. Just a real nice straight looking car. Again, the gaps, front and back of the door, just as fresh and clean as you'd ever hope to find. Original equipment style antenna on it. Wiper arms and blades are the correct style for the car. Just as nice a lineup on this car as you could ever hope to find. I don't see anything out of line gap-wise. No real imperfections in the paint. It's a driver quality paint job. We don't sell show cars here, not generally anyway, but this is a very, very high-end restoration on this vehicle. Under the hood, is some magic on this. Back in this era, this thing was the car to have. 383 4-barrel. This particular car houses appears to be a Edelbrock or Carter AFB carburetor on it, on a dual plane high-rise aluminum intake manifold, correct style valve pan covers on it. Appears to have about 1.75 inch set of long tube headers on it, ceramic coated. It does not have power steering or power brakes. It still has its original single stage brake cylinder on it. New battery, fender tag, which I'm sure Donnie will break down for you, tell you the options on the car. High flow, high capacity Mopar radiator with it. Press-to-light distributor with the correct cap on it. Coil positioned where it's supposed to be. Washer bottle for the windshield still hooked up and functional. It's a really nice car, real clean engine compartment. It has an opening for the cold air to enter the engine compartment also, keep it a little colder. It's not a ram air effect type, but it does have the original equipment style air cleaner that would have come on this car in 1966 had it been yeah, it's the original air cleaner for 1966. A lot of originality underneath the hood. Everything is nice and clean and fresh. There are no leaks evident whatsoever on the engine, valve pan covers or intake. Well, the intake's not going to leak oil. There's nothing there. No water or anything running through a B-block Mopar. These things made some pretty decent horsepower. 383 4-barrels were rated at 330 horsepower, and they were kind of an overachiever, especially this guy with a 4-speed with it. Another thing is someone has added electronic ignition to it. So it does have an electronic ignition system inside the distributor press-to-light. Nice car. Okay, this is the underside of our 1966 Belvedere 2. Tons of originality on this guy. Drum brakes in the front, drum in the rear, of course. There's new spindles in the front, new ball joints. The sway bar in the front is the correct sway bar for it. Manual steering. You can see new tie rod ends on it. Everything is nice and tight in the front end of this vehicle. A set of long tube headers on it. I'm going to call them 1.75 inches. The original fuel line still intact on the vehicle. The original parking brake cable is also still intact, and the original brake line going toward the rear. A lot of originality on this thing. Subframes in the front, a couple of little tiny jack mark indentures, but that's it. Floor pans, just as nice and fresh as they were in 1966. They still have the splatter sound deadener on them that was installed by Chrysler new in 1966. 833 Mopar tranny, new process transmission. You can see there's no leaks on the engine itself or the bell housing area. Everything is as fresh and clean as to be. Conventional starter on it. It is a 67 down engine also. I don't know what the numbers are on it. You have to get them on top. It is a 383, however. Floor pans, again, just as fresh and clean as you'd ever hope to find, with all the original sound deadener still intact on them. The subframes in the rear, both of them, are just as fresh and clean as you'd ever hope to find. Again, one little tiny jack mark here and none on this side. Again, the parking brake assembly still hooked up. 3-inch primary pipes coming off of a 3-inch collector on the headers, which are ceramic coated. These guys are 3-inch going into a 3-inch inlet Flowmaster muffler and a 3-inch out pipe also with the correct turn downs. 742 number Mopar rear, which would be correct for 1966. a stack of 6 leaves for the rear suspension. There was new shocks in the front, new shocks in the rear. The drop downs in the quarters have no deterioration whatsoever. In fact, you can still see Devin showing you the tabs that still have the original installation tabs from 1966 whenever this car was put together. This thing is as nice and solid a car as you'll ever find in a 66 Belvedere. Original gas tank still intact in it. The tire well in the back also is original, still retains its sound deadener. The 2 hook places in the rear that are on the frame that Chrysler started putting on these vehicles is even still intact on it for the tie downs whenever they were used in shipment. Again, drum brakes in the rear, tires are all fresh, all 4 corners, new U-joints, and originality everywhere. This is a 2-year-only style body, and it is a 383 4-speed car. And again, tons of originality under here, no deterioration whatsoever evident. It's a very nice car. It's here at Hangsters in Daytona. These cars were, like I said, 2 years only. They were a little shorter and a little bit lighter than the second generation of B-body cars that followed them, the Roadrunners and the GTXs. It's a little tiny bit smaller and lighter. Kind of a neat car. Take a look at it. It's here at Hangsters. Okay, our 66 Belvedere 2. Kind of brings back a lot of memories. I had a 66 Corvette, 426 Hemi 4-speed car. Same color red. Mine had a charcoal interior in it though. But, horn's working just fine as it should be. Let's see, wipers. Wipers we got working just as nice as you'd hope to. Fan for the heat. It's working. You can hear it blowing. Has a tachometer down here, and the tach you can see is working just fine. Temperature just starting to come up on our Sam Wagner gauges, Stuart Warner. Oil pressure holding nice at an idle. The amp gauge is working in the dashboard. Radio. What's the chances that a Mopar radio is going to work after?
Honestly, Ford writes, even Big John is good. I can't wait to see what his
AM
donation
Mopar
is.
radio, just working away, just like it should. All right, let's go for a ride. See how this guy runs. Nice tight car. Goes down the road just as straight and nice as can be. The steering is nice, responsive. It's a manual steering box, but there's absolutely no play whatsoever in it. Whenever you turn the steering wheel, the car reacts just the way it should. There's no pulling whatsoever. Let's try brakes. There's brakes, no hands. Just stops as nice as can possibly. Ooh, that guy behind me is getting upset with me though. Nice running car. It's very tight. There's no play whatsoever in the steering. The brakes stop linear. There's no shakes, rattles, shimmies, absolutely nothing. Get on it a little bit whenever we turn around here so you can hear how the thing runs. And then it's a nice car. It's a very nice tight car. High quality paint on it. Turn signals are working. Revs right up just the way it's supposed to. It doesn't shake, shimmy, rattle, nothing. There's no play in the steering again. Speedometer's functioning as it should. Gauges are all where they should be. You can see it's not overheating. Oil pressure's holding nice and high. Seems like to be about a 323 gear car just from what the tach's showing. Nice car. It's a really nice, better than driver quality car, 1966 Belvedere 2. Whoever buys this car, it's going to be very nominally priced too. It's not going to be an outrageously priced vehicle. Phenomenal condition for the money that you're going to pay for this car, and it's at Hangsters in Daytona Beach, Florida.